There are many myths with respect to cheating and adultery in divorce. But before I get into that, I just want to share if you want to pursue a divorce based upon a claim of adultery, you can certainly do that. It's one of the reasons for a divorce that you can file for. What you're actually choosing is you're choosing a trial. And why do I say that? Because you're never going to get your partner to consent and agree and admit they've committed adultery. Would you? If you're going to pursue adultery and say, well, I need my divorce and I want it declared that we're getting divorced because they were adulterous. Again, you could do that, but you're choosing a trial. The only way in which a court can grant you your divorce based upon adultery is either your partner has to admit it or you have to do a full-blown trial. You have to prove the adultery with evidence and documentation. And if you can prove that and the court agrees that you've proved it, then all that means is now you get to litigate the rest of the issues. And so you're really just prolonging your divorce if you're going to go that road. And again, I'm not trying to stray you from making that decision if that's something important to you. And certainly that's something to talk about with your attorney. But just understand that when you're choosing to go down the road of claiming adultery, that's what you're really choosing. With respect to the myths in divorce relating to adultery and cheating, is that many people feel that because the other party was the one at fault, that they stepped out of the marriage, they didn't follow the rules and do all the right things, that therefore, because they were the good spouse and they did things the right way, that they're entitled to more of the marital assets. Nothing can be farther from the truth. Unfortunately, that claim of cheating or adultery is really just your ticket into court, your ticket to have a judge actually hear your divorce case. It really doesn't have an impact upon the outcome of your divorce. Cheating and adultery may or may not have an impact upon custody with your children. The standard that the courts apply is the best interest of the children. If there is anything there that's going to negatively impact the children or provide a situation that's not a safe and stable environment, that'll certainly be taken into account by the court. However, if your partner's engaged in another relationship and it's not impacting the children, the person's not around your children and not negatively impacting their well-being, it's not going to have that much of an impact, but it's possible, depending upon the circumstances and the facts involved in your situation, that the courts would take that into account when determining and deciding on custody for your children. Another myth that comes into play with respect to divorce and cheating is believing that, again, because your partner was the one at fault and they did this bad thing, maybe you're entitled to more child support. They need to be punished in some sort of way. In the eyes of the law, with the only way in which the adultery or the cheating has any relevance is really only with respect to the filing of the divorce. Like, what is the basis for the divorce? And unfortunately, it really has no impact whatsoever on child support. The court is still going to apply the child support calculations in the formula and determine how much child support is due from the non-custodial to the custodial parents. But with respect to getting more because they were adulterous, it's not going to have any impact. But he cheated. She cheated. Shouldn't I be getting more money? Shouldn't they have to pay for this mistake, what they did to me and the harm that they caused to me? I'm so sorry that this happened. Definitely shouldn't happen to anybody in a committed relationship. Unfortunately, the courts strictly apply the rules. The rules in this particular situation with regard to spousal support or maintenance is the courts will strictly apply the formula for spousal support to figure out what the number is, and then they'll determine a duration and how long the support will be paid for. If you're entitled to spousal support, you'll certainly be awarded that, but it won't be impacted by the fact that they were adulterous. If you have any additional questions about cheating and divorce in New York, give our office a call and schedule a consultation.